Well, hello and welcome everyone. Good evening, and we are here to discuss, or rather, I should say, do a post-mortem of the Pakistan cricket team's loss to Bangladesh in the opening test of the two-match series that's basically taking place at Rawalpindi. And it's not really just about that one loss; it's about the problems that the Pakistan cricket team has been facing from the last 4 to 5 years now, and not just in test cricket but across formats. Their record at home hasn't really been that impressive. Same is the case with the Sena countries also, South Africa, England, New Zealand and Australia. And to discuss more on this, we are joined by Mr. Shahid Hashmi. He is a senior journalist from Pakistan, and he's going to provide his useful inputs and his experience of covering cricket at Pakistan for years now. Hi sir, how are you? Can you hear us?
Thank you. Hello, all three of you. Hello. I am very well, but suffering from a huge defeat at the hands of Bangladesh and embarrassed.
Yeah. Before we get into the nitty-gritties, Shahid sir, just want to know what is it like, for one, that was India Pakistan are very similar. If a defeat like that comes, it becomes the talk of the nation. Every second person in the street you will meet, at a workplace, at a grocery store, wherever it is, it just becomes the talk of the town, and it is difficult to swallow. How is it just a couple of days on from that heavy defeat that Pakistan had to face? What's the mood like to begin with? And then of course we'll talk about the technical aspects of where Pakistan cricket is. If you could just help us know what that mood is right now in Pakistan.
There are a lot of negative words which I could say: disappointing, demoralizing, abject surrender, and people are now started to hating cricket because the difficulties they face to come to the stadium, all the roadblocks, everything, and then hours and hours of roadblocks at various places, and then these results: losing to USA in T20 World Cup, losing to Afghanistan in ODI World Cup, losing to Bangladesh in World Test Championship. It cannot go as bad as this situation, and this has been happening in the last 3-4 years. The worst problem Pakistan has is change in the PCB chairmanship. But all the people, they don't look at that side. They just want their players to perform, and standard-wise, cricketing-wise, players fitness-wise, players' willingness to come and win has severely gone down, and that's hurt the interest of the fans in Pakistan. They are seriously disappointed. Most of them don't follow test matches a lot, but they follow ODI cricket, T20 cricket, and the results at the T20 World Cup were really demoralizing. And I think all this younger generation, they are now shifting their interest rather toward other sports or on computer games.
Sir, in fact, I was going to ask you this question only first up, that you saw Pakistan losing to Afghanistan in the 23 ODI World Cup, then to USA in the T20 World Cup, and now losing to Bangladesh in Test cricket. So which was the hardest pill to swallow in those terms? Because in T20 cricket and in ODI cricket, you can sort of say that it's a game of small margins. So on a given day, teams can sort of upset bigger teams in terms of Pakistan. But Test cricket isn't that. In Test cricket, even if you have a bad half an hour, 40 minutes, you still have time to bounce back. Pakistan wasn't able to do that. So do you think that clearly shows that it's not just the mentality to perform on occasions, or it has now sort of started to come down to the skill set also?
Well, if you compare both teams, India and Pakistan, cricket in India, cricket in Pakistan, in the last 10 years, Pakistan cricket has gone down. And as the reverse, in the reverse direction, India has gone. India is going up and up and up in the last 10 years. And now they are world's best. Top 3 in all formats. In fact, 1 in 2 formats and second in the other format. They are brilliant. Their setup is good. Their planning is good. Their first class structure is good. And vice versa, the problems in Pakistan are multitudes of factors that have suffered Pakistan cricket badly. We have 11 chairmen in the last 10 years. One chairman comes and he said that 6 teams will play in first class cricket. The other one comes and abolished the old system. He said that now 12 teams will play. The other one comes, he said no, we revert back to 6 teams. So first class cricket is gone completely. The gap between first class cricket and international cricket is huge now. And you need to invest, you need to plan at least for 5 years to reduce that gap. Frankly speaking, this new chairman has the dedication. He's a hard-working guy. He's ruthless. He's truthful. He recently said that Pakistan do not have two proper international cricket grounds, and it's very on the spot. Pakistan do not have two proper international cricket grounds, and that's what he's doing now. He's upgrading all these grounds. The worst problem was Pakistan not hosting international cricket between 2009 and 2020. In those 10 years, no chairman worked on the infrastructure, on the first-class cricket, on upgrading the stadiums, and now Pakistan cricket is suffering bad.
So it's interesting you make that point, because I just want to digress a little bit over here, because there's a whole lot of talk about Pakistan about to host the Champions Trophy. Now, in case what you suggest is the case, that there aren't two proper facilities, then I know there's the idea is to host it across three cities right now. So just digressing over there, since you did touch upon that, where does Pakistan cricket stand right now in terms of readiness to be able to host the Champions Trophy?
I think it's a race against time. It's a serious race against time. September, ICC will inspect logistics and other facilities, and they will not go to the grounds and inspect what is the upgradation level, what is the latest situation on the upgradation. But come November, they will come and see the upgradation on the grounds, and it's a serious race against time. The determination showed by Mohsin Naqvi, the recent chairman, he visit the ground 3 a.m. in the morning, he visit the ground 2 p.m. in the afternoon, he visit the ground 6 p.m. in the evening. He is hell-bent on getting the upgradation right on time. But it's a serious race against time. We hope that Pakistan is able to convince ICC that the upgradation is complete, the security is there. They came here earlier this year, and they were very happy, they were very satisfied with the safety and security arrangements. But now it's a race against time on upgradation of the grounds.
Okay, so we specifically, I think I mentioned this point about Pakistan's home record. That's been pretty much, I would say, terrible in the last 3.5 years or so, because the last test win that came at home was way back in February 2021. Now, usually in most of the cases, or in the past few years also, specifically before that Sri Lanka incident happened in 2009, there were those pitches, or Pakistan did have the quality wherein they could get that initial the reverse swing going, and also at the very same time they were blessed to have the likes of Syed Ajmal and Danish Kaneria also, who took care of the spin department. But now if we look at Pakistan's team, obviously talent is not really an issue, but what do you think, what has been the major reason why they haven't been able to beat teams like Australia, England, New Zealand, for that matter even Bangladesh also? Let's specifically talk about Australia, New Zealand and England, who do not really have a great record in the subcontinent conditions, and despite that they were able to challenge Australia, and even two of those countries even beat Pakistan, like Australia defeated Pakistan 1-0 and England defeated them 3-0.
Yeah, we have been clueless what to do on home grounds. And recently, just 2-3 days ago, Naseem Shah came for a presser, and he was so honest, so candid, so right, spot on. He said that Pakistan now have to seriously think what is his home advantage. We should prepare pitches which should either help the fast bowlers or help spinners. In the last 5-6 years, Pakistan have lost spinners. They don't know how to play spin as batting side. They don't have quality spinners in their first class cricket. All those who are in Pakistan's first class setup are either low in standard because of the standard of the first class cricket, or they are not given proper chances. Like Yasir Shah suddenly disappeared. He faded out, A, because of his lack of commitment, B, because of his being overweight. He didn't want to play cricket. Suddenly he lost interest. When England was playing in Multan, 10 days before the test match, Yasir Shah took 10 wickets in a first class match, but he was not deemed fit enough to play against England. So both sides of the coin, like the selection committee was not right in dropping Yasir Shah from the test side. He may be 70% fit, but he's a spinner. He's not a fast bowler. So they faded him out. He lost interest in the game. Suddenly we lost a match winner who was, if not Ravi Ashwin, if he was 19, Ravi Ashwin was 20. He was the fastest to 200 wickets, and Ravi Ashwin used to always send compliments for Yasir Shah. But suddenly he lost out. We had other four spinners who were not quality spinners. So suddenly we lost that edge in spin. Either we did not have quality spinners, so our batters did not get the knack of playing spin. So we lost that advantage. And when Australia came, Ramiz Raja, a quality cricketer in his time, a wise man, he said that we prepared that Pindi flat pitch simply to neutralize Australia's pace attack. Go make a proper pitch. Even if you lose, your players will learn. Your players will not run on a flat pitch like Imamullah hit 100, Abdullah Shafiq hit 100, and it sort of created a misconception that they are very good players. So that is why Pakistan is paying the price. They are clueless in preparing the pitch. This pitch, they already assume that this will be a very good fast track where we will crush Bangladesh in 3 days. They assume that we will win the toss. They lost the toss. They never read the pitch properly. In fact, Bangladesh were clever enough, wise enough. Every Bangladesh coach, player was saying that this is a flat track. On the 5th day, it will spin. And they had inside information from their spin bowling coach, Mushtaq Ahmed. And Mushtaq Ahmed was right, spot on. 4 days, flat pitch. And 5th day, there were cracks. And Pakistan batters played horribly. They all fell to their own mistakes rather than Bangladesh getting them out.
So you talked about, I'll just get back to Mohsin Naqvi for a bit. You talked about the fact that he's somebody who's really hardworking. You sort of see that he's somebody who could get that change in Pakistan cricket. For sure, even I had that feeling when I saw Mohsin Naqvi come out and say that the Pakistan cricket team needs a surgery after the ODI World Cup. But that wasn't the case. You could not sort of see that going forward also. You see Mohsin Naqvi now also after this test match also has said that there are going to be lots of changes made. But even when Ramiz Raja was there, you saw that sort of spark from him also when he was he had taken charge. But all the previously also, everyone who has sort of come in and taken charge of Pakistan cricket, everyone has started to start everything from scratch. Don't you think that's sort of the same case with Mohsin Naqvi also here?
He'll have to do that because he is new to cricket. He, in fact, very candidly accepted that he didn't know anything about cricket, but he's been a very good administrator. He was caretaker minister, chief minister in Punjab province, and did a very good job on the construction front, on upgrading the facilities in the Punjab province. So he's somebody who knows how to build infrastructure or how to upgrade an infrastructure. He doesn't know anything about cricket. So he has employed a few cricketers, but it's a deep-rooted problem. In the last 4 or 5 years, Pakistan cricket has suffered badly. We had a captain who was a world-class batter, but he was very insipid, very defensive, very insecure about his captaincy. And Babar Azam, if you look at so many matches, Ahmedabad match, Pakistan was well placed. They lost from there. India dominated. Again, at that Melbourne game, 2022 T20 World Cup, Pakistan was on the cusp of victory. In the last 2 overs, the whole game changed by Virat Kohli and the defensive captain from Babar Azam. This match, 119, 120 to get. Rohit Sharma never lost hope. He knew that 1 wicket of Mohammad Rizwan and 2 overs of Jasprit Bumrah were crucial. He knew that at some point of time, this match will turn upside down, and it did. Babar Azam was a very defensive captain, and in the last 3-4 years, Pakistan has suffered badly in white ball cricket, and now they are suffering badly in test cricket because a lot of players do not want to play test.
So you talked about the fact that Babar Azam was sort of insecure about his place as a captain also. Do you think that's just the case with Babar Azam, or do you think there are other players also having that mindset in the team? Because after this loss also there were many questions raised on the fact that, yeah, even though Rizwan went on to score that 171 runs in the first innings, but do you think the approach could have been a little more attacking in that sense? Because you saw the same thing from Bangladesh also. They also came out and sort of came out all guns blazing. So do you think that it's just Babar Azam in that team who has that thought process, or it's a thing in the team that is sort of becoming the reason for Pakistan's downfall in that sense?
Yeah, I think it's a mindset within the team. If you look at T20 cricket, you look at ODI cricket, Pakistan was winning T20 cricket simply because of its bowlers. Even Pakistan could score 160, 170, they would make a match out of it. They used to win within 160, 170. But in the last 2-3 years, since the T20 World Cup 2022, Pakistan bowling has gone down considerably in white ball cricket. Now, even if they make 200, they can't defend 200. Even if they make 220, they would be able to defend 200. Once Pakistan managed 150, 160, Babar Azam drops his shoulder. 282 was a fighting total against Afghanistan at Chennai, but he lost. He definitely dropped his shoulder, and we saw a very helpless, very hapless Pakistan team at Chennai. I was so emotional that I cried that day, because losing to Afghanistan, you can lose to any team, but you lose like this, dropping your shoulders, don't put up a fight, is really very embarrassing. So it's a mindset in all three formats, which is a bane for Pakistan cricket team. And look at other teams. They hit sixes like anything, 20 sixes, 12 sixes, 10 sixes. And Pakistan could hit 3 or 4 sixes in a T20 match. And one day matches, the Ahmedabad match, they did not hit a single six in that match. So it's a mindset which has prevailed, which has, I think, what you call deep rooted in Pakistan team, which needs to be changed. Let's hope that Gary Kirsten would change. But other problem is that Pakistan get all these international coaches who have completed their shelf lives. Gary Kirsten, long gone. His shelf life is gone. Jason Gillespie his shelf life is gone. So Pakistan would get all these coaches who have done marvelous thing in the past, but they are now just completing. They are just doing their job.
Sir, we specifically talked about that comment of Mohsin Naqvi that Pakistan cricket needs complete surgery. So Mohammad Hafiz, he recently he tweeted on the X platform that surgery is on till death, and he made this tweet after the first test between Pakistan and Bangladesh. So do you really think it's coming from a place where the same guy who was a few months back was named the head coach of Pakistan team, but was actually had to be axed after that horrendous performance in the Australia series where they lost 3-0, or is there something that is there something more than what meets the eye?
I think it's just bitterness for being sacked by Mohsin Naqvi. He was appointed, I think, prematurely. Even in India, even in any cricketing world, you see a coach first doing coaching at either junior level or at first class level. Hafiz is a very good mind, but go and do coaching for a first class team for 2-3 years, get maturity, and then come back. When he came, Pakistan did well in the last 2 test matches against Australia. They put up good fights, and even Australian commentators, Australian players said that Pakistan should have won the last 2 test matches had they not dropped crucial catches. It was good, but anywhere in the world, you need to first spend some time at lower level, either under 16, under 19, or first class level, and then come and then coach. Hafiz's problem was that he was very proactive. He was very talkative. He feels that he knows cricket more than anyone in the world. And then he suffered because of that, because players complained that he was very rude. He was very proactive, or proactive is not bad quality, but you need to take all your players along with you. And he did not have that maturity to be a head coach of Pakistan team.
So there are a lot of allegations and a lot of buzz around this fact that there is a lot of groupism in the team. I remember that in the ODI, in the T20 World Cup against USA, there also last ball the USA side needed a boundary. the bowler was going for a Yorker and the mid-on, there was mid-on, there wasn't a long on. So what usually happens is when a bowler is going for that Yorker length, you usually sort of tend to have your players on the front to the boundary. So do you think that there is lack of communication because of which such things happen in the team, that not everyone is sort of in good talking terms with the captain, and captain has his plans, bowler wants to have his own plans, that everybody isn't on the same page there?
There have always been grouping in Pakistan team. Many other teams also have grouping. But when they enter the field, they are all players, they are all playing for their country. It was lack of communication, I think, on the part of captain and on the part of bowler as well. Captain should have gone to Haris Rauf. Look, you've committed the same mistake at Melbourne 2022. Last two deliveries, you were hit for sixes. So now it's time you do better thing. He had 5 runs to save on the last delivery. He had 12 runs on the last 3 deliveries to save. But Haris Rauf committed the same blunder, same mistake, pitching the ball on the leg stump, was hit for a 6, just like he did to Kohli. 5th ball was a wonderful 6. No bowler could have avoided that 6 that Kohli hit. It's a stroke for ages. It's a stroke for centuries. But the last delivery was a leg side delivery, which was completely in panic, delivered completely in panic. So Haris Rauf has not learned. 3 or 4 matches he had to defend runs, and had we got Zaman Khan, he would have been a better choice, because he has saved 8 runs in 3 PSL matches. So he is quite adept to saving or defending 8 runs in an over in a T20. But Haris Rauf, again, it was a lack of communication on the part of Babar Azam. He didn't go. He should have gone to Haris Rauf. Look, I have placed a fielder up on the mid-on. So please bowl either full pitch or pitch the ball in a way that he should not be able to hit, or place the fielder in the boundary mid-off and tell him that bowl outside the off stump. So it was lack of communication on the part of Babar Azam is done many a times. If you remember Asia Cup, Pakistan lost to Sri Lanka. Asalanka hit a third man boundary. Same thing. So we committed mistake after mistake. And mistake is just one time. If you commit a mistake more than once, it's a habit.
Okay.
Right. I believe, sir, we're just short of time. So very quickly, in let's say 80 seconds, if you could quickly sum up. I just have one last question from you. If you could just sum things up for us over here. There's 2 points that I take from what you've said over here. So concluding remarks from you. One, you mentioned about, there being so many hats being changed, as far as the peripheral roles, as far as administrative roles are concerned. We've seen as many as 10 leaders in the board. That's number one. Number two is within the group, like you said, there are divisions. There's people not taking ownership. There's insecurity. Would you say Pakistan cricket is suffering at the moment because of more off-field issues, or is it more to do with on-field decisions being made by the players? Or maybe a third option, maybe it's just a combination of both.
It's a combination of both on and off the field. Pakistan cricket needs short-term and long-term planning. Otherwise, it will continue to suffer. We need to have separate players for test matches, red ball cricket, separate players, at least 8 to 10 separate players in a squad of 15 for red and white ball cricket. Long-term and short-term planning will only save Pakistan cricket.
Okay, so very.
Do you have a time for one more question? So I was all I was asking was that India isn't like Pakistan is the first team to do so in terms of the Asian in Asia, having 2 different coaches for red ball and white ball. India sort of isn't of that favor. Do you think that is going to help Pakistan moving ahead, or do you think that's still not? It wasn't the right call?
I think it will help. Red ball coach should be different. White ball coach should be different. And at least your bowling resources for white ball cricket should be different, and red ball cricket should also be different. Naseem Shah, Shahid Shah Afridi are playing constantly all 3 formats, and they look haggard during the Rawalpindi Test match. Both Naseem Shah and Shahid Shah Afridi. So you need to either rotate them or need to have separate bowlers for Test cricket. At least 6 to 10 separate fast bowlers and spinners for red ball cricket, and 10 to 12 separate fast bowlers and spinners for white ball cricket. Otherwise, you will continue to suffer.
As we say goodbye to you, sir, because time's running out, we understand. Thank you so much from all three of us here in the studio. In fact, from our producer Shivam as well, Sarat Chandra, and many other of our regular viewers who are joining us right now have some kind words for you. So just wanted to convey that as well. They're in awe of your work and they wanted us to convey that to you. So just letting you know that there's a lot of love coming in for you as well. So thank you so much once again for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
And yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon.
Inshallah. Thank
All
you.
right.
God willing.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
So then, that was insightful.
I hope we had a little more time.
Yeah, man.
I had
seriously.
just one more question there.
Yeah, we can discuss that. We three can discuss that.
But I wanted an opinion from that. It wasn't more of a question. It was more about Sai Mayub because he came in as a really, big name, and you sort of thought that he would get up the ranks. But that's not the case right now. Already there have been Sai Mayub.
Sai Mayub.
But I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the current Pakistan Test captain Shan Masood is being trolled about on social media is that he made that bold declaration in the first innings, and that's why people are actually calling him Shan Stokes in a very sarcastic manner. So what do you think about that? We can start with Harshit here. What do you think about that first innings declaration? Like Pakistan, did they make a mistake by declaring a little too early, knowing that Bangladesh in these conditions can be pretty formidable, which they turned out to be?
I think there was a two-pronged mistake by Pakistan. One, they were overconfident that, as Sir also pointed out, perhaps they were even confident that they would go ahead and win the toss. Two, they underestimated Bangladesh. I thought that declaration meant at 171 if one of your batters is batting, and he, by the way, was told at lunchtime that you only have an hour. In hour's time, whenever we're around the 450 run mark, we look forward to declaring. So we're not going to wait till you're a double 100. The message was very clear from the dressing. So that tells me that they had certain things in mind going into the test match, and that's where I want to bring in what Ramiz Raja said. I think Ramiz Raja is right in his analysis of Pakistan's performance in the first test match at Rawalpindi, because that tells me there was a preconceived notion. Number one, as the Pakistan skipper himself said in a press conference. Number two, lack of judgment. Exactly. Lack of judgment because of the team selection, no spinners over there as against Bangladesh, who had spinners in their ranks, and then underestimating your opponent. So they went in with a lot of self-belief, which got crushed by Bangladesh, and then you underestimated your opponent, which led you to declare maybe an hour or two earlier than you should have. Maybe after the 500 run mark was breached psychologically, because 500 is a 500, and look what Bangladesh did after that. Then so maybe that's my answer. Two-pronged failure by Pakistan on two fronts where they faltered.
Okay.
I feel that what they were expecting out of the pitch, if everything had to go as per plan, then I think it was right, because what they were expecting there was that it's going to be a fast track. And because they also played went in with an all fast bowling unit. So for them, it was absolutely, I don't know what were they expecting, that how is it going to be a fast bowling wicket, because at the end of the day, however much you sort of want to change the nature of the wicket, at the end of the day, it is a subcontinental wicket only. By the end of the third day or maximum fourth day, it's going to start to spin. Maybe they wanted a flatter track because that is what suited their batters also. That went against them, and that's why they declared, assuming that okay, we have gotten a lot of runs, it's going to be a fast track, it's going to be like this, so we'll just run through the Bangladeshi batting attack. That didn't happen. Their spinners came into play and they absolutely ran through Pakistan batting.
Okay, like I personally feel that, and I somewhat agree with Harshit here also, that they were around 50 to 60 runs short of getting to that more of a formidable total, which could have challenged Bangladesh a lot more, because as it is said in ODI and T20 cricket also, that there's a difference between 180 and 200, 300 and 350, and that just proved out to be the key difference here also, that had Pakistan crossed that 500 mark, 510, 20, Bangladesh's approach could have been pretty different at that time. So that basically gives you the psychological advantage.
It's a collective failure. I won't just pin it on the captain. I will pin it to the think tank as well, because 450 is what they were looking at. This, I think, declared 476.
449, yeah, 449.
449. So again, they already had those numbers in their mind. So it's a collective failure. Again, it can't just be the captain's decision to declare at a certain score. There has to be the assent of the, if not the vice captain, certainly the coach. You do end up talking to the coach before taking such a decision as to what not one but multiple people in that think tank think is going to be a good enough total on a pitch. So it was a collective failure in the first test match. I do expect them to bounce back in the second. However, the pitches, and I like the point that Shahid sir made a brief while back, that because you flattened the tracks to that extent, you made certain players look better than they actually are. That's something for Pakistan to really look into the mirror and see how they can fix things now, because we've seen how a couple of their established batters in international cricket, a little bit of movement and they become susceptible over there. How is it that they do the fixing job now? In fact, it's an interesting parallel between the Indian cricketers and Indian batters and the Pakistan batters over here. The Indian batters also right now are guilty of not being able to play spin very well right now. Now this goes against the traditional Indian batsmanship, which was playing spin well, playing spin to the merit. We've lost out on that. Why? Because we also tried flattening our decks here and there to eke out certain results. Pakistan, though we've not gone entirely the Pakistan way, and maybe that's what's separating the two nations over here, but Pakistan went the other way. They went the complete other way by flattening out their decks fully, and look what England did to them last year. And even Bangladesh now giving them, just telling them that this is not how batsmanship works, this is not how you're going to get results, and there are other better batting sides out there.
Okay, Shivam, let's just get to those.
In fact, because I mentioned that comment, can I just take you back to the series against England that we had? What happened after the first two test matches? What was India's realization? That you give sporting wickets.
Yes.
The moment that you try and try to annul the advantage or the strength of your opponent, that's what India tried in the first two test matches, and we all know what happened in Hyderabad. After that, what was it? You gave sporting wickets. The moment that you tried to give extra spin in Hyderabad, look, it benefited Bashir, look, it benefited some of the other youngsters as well. However, the moment there were sporting wickets, where the nature of the wicket would change, that's where India got into the game much more. So you never try and annul the strength of the opposition. That was perhaps India's learning from a date that doesn't exist on the Indian calendar from 2023.
True. See, the latest one of the assistant coaches of the Indian cricket team, Ryan Tindiscote, pardon my pronunciation if that's not right, he recently made a comment after India's loss to Sri Lanka in the ODI series, that one of the major reasons why the Indian batters are struggling against spin is because there has been too much focus on doing well in the Sena countries, that you have really forgotten to focus on something that you were really good at one point. So that I don't know whether that can really be counted as a reason or not. Well, that's a discussion for another day. But if you look at, Pakistan's record in test cricket specifically in the last 4 to 5 years now, Shivam, can we have that cut to that graphic also? That Pakistan in home test matches since March 2021, they've played 9 matches, won 0, lost 5 and drawn 4.
Yeah.
And if we go to the Sena countries now, and by Sena we mean,
and I think the last home win was against South Africa
way back in February 2021. And if we go to the Sena test matches, South Africa, England, New Zealand and Australia, they've played 8 matches, lost 6 and there were 2 draws. So technically they have literally been more than under par in test cricket in the last 4.5 to 5 years or so. Now, as much as I can understand that there is a collective failure, that the PCB is making those hasty decisions, the team is also not doing well, there is a problem of people or the players gelling together. But if I have to ask both of you regarding this, what is that one big thing that is really ailing Pakistan cricket here, that has basically pushed them down the order as far as being a top competitive test team is concerned?
I think I'd start.
Just one thing.
Yeah, just one thing for me, it's insecurity. See, nobody in that
Player
whole
insecurity.
Not just player insecurity. The insecurity is in the system.
Okay.
Because no chairman of theirs has actually sort of stayed there for a long time. So insecure, no selector stays there for a long time, no player stays there for a long time, no captain stays there for a long time. So each individual is insecure about their place, and I wouldn't even blame anybody. It's in the whole system. It's deep rooted in the system. Like Sir also mentioned, that everybody is so insecure that everyone is sort of going forward for their personal gains. It's like I mentioned that also in the Indian team also we would have seen this a lot of times. There's difference in opinion, but that opinion also, the ultimate goal for everybody there is to do well for India. Maybe you might feel something else, I might feel something else, but our goal is to do well for the channel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But that's not the case in Pakistan cricket, is what I feel, because everybody is sort of always on the edge of their seats, because anybody can be replaced by anybody. Whenever if some new chairman comes, he will have his own thought process. He would just
want to bring his own men.
Not even maybe that's his idea. Maybe he thinks that's going to better Pakistan cricket also. I'm not saying that they just do it because they feel that the player is their favorite. Maybe they feel that it is going to do good for Pakistan cricket, but it's that, and I think that has sort of spoiled Pakistan cricket as a whole.
Okay.
While that could be one of the reasons, I feel that there's a genuine lack of quality players in Pakistan cricket right now. And it goes for both batting and bowling, I would say. For far too long, I think there was this notion that Pakistan seamers, this and that, and I remember 2 years back when India lost in the Asia Cup as well. Probably that was the time where a young Naseem Shah was really making a name, and he was still very young to international cricket. But I see how some of these names have really stagnated, and now that Shaheen Shah Afridi, we know that there's persistent injury issues with him as well, and that bowling unit completely changes from time to time, and he's no longer that guaranteed starter. And whenever that he's not there, I know he was playing in this match, however, times that he's not there, they look like a headless chicken as far as their bowling unit is concerned. Look at the standards being dropped in terms of their spin bowlers as well. After Yasir Shah, I can't remember, as Sir also pointed out, Shahid Sir, while he was there, that there be a quality spinner in the Pakistan side. Now that goes against the Pakistan of the past that we know, the Pakistan of the past that really had would send a message to the teams as far as their spin bowling was concerned. Right now, Shadab Khan was being looked at as the next player, but in white ball cricket, but he also then fell out of favor, and we know how he was exposed to the world. So I feel there's a genuine lack of quality players now in Pakistan. They need an overhaul. You look at the T20 cricket as well, the T20 batting, it's behind the curve. What we would say for India is also true for Pakistan batters. I would say again, batting 100, 110 is no longer the thing. You wait for somebody like a Fakhar Zaman to fire on one fine day. You will wait for exploits from Iftikhar. The day that it comes, doesn't come again. You don't have that cohesion at the moment. So overall, I think lack of quality players is what is ailing Pakistan right now. Forget what's happening on the outside, because when I say quality players, again, it's the same players who lack the temperament as well.
Exactly.
They should have won the match against India in New York. Let's be honest about it. 120 runs. Yes, the wicket was spicy. It was tricky, but then
it was gettable.
It was gettable. It's T20 cricket. Run a ball. So I think there's a genuine lack of quality in Pakistan cricket.
Why I don't feel that there is lack of quality, because see, again, just at the top of the head,
and I'm just going to back that up with the results.
Yeah, definitely. Why?
It's not happening in Pakistan. It's not happening overseas. If it's not happening in Pakistan, I frankly don't expect anything to happen when visiting Sena.
No, I agree. I sort of agree with you. But what I was thinking when you were talking about this, that I thought about a few players on the top of my head. I remembered an Asif Ali. I remembered Ahmad Shehzad. You had Fakhar Zaman, who was sort of taking off when you sort of suddenly changed his number also.
Shahid Khan
also. So there were so many players who sort of came and gave that glimpses, but nobody sort of could sustain themselves. So for that, I feel again the reason for that are outside things also. Quality again, I feel all these players, if you just pick them out in at least in the white ball circuit as of now, if you pick them in one individual team, anyone I think is a match winner.
How many of them are guaranteed starters?
In any other any team around the world?
Is Fakhar Zaman a guaranteed starter? Their most dynamic player, I doubt. He was given an extended rope, I know, and he performed in one of the matches, the one that they won in that rain curtailed match that they won as well, New Zealand.
Yeah.
So, but besides that, yes, a player like that would possibly deserve as well. But if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have won that match either. The way that Babar and Rizwan are playing, we talk about, we spent so much time last year talking about Virat Kohli, his strike rate. Again, there's a gulf between Babar Azam, Virat Kohli, Mohammad Rizwan. But are those guys getting the kind of criticism that we go ahead and sort of have for our cricketers? If that was the case, they would have had that overhaul by now that India wanted to get and sort of got also.
But India also did not get it.
So that's what I'm saying, sort of. It worked out well. It worked out well because you had to then, Rohit played the way that you wanted India to play after the Adelaide debacle in 2022. So you had to take certain calls. You did take certain calls. And Rohit, Virat both knew that they had. Virat's dismissals were testament to that change in approach.
But like just an example of Sai Mayub, he came in as a dasher. He was a great batter to start with.
T20 batter.
In T20 batter, and the kind of shots he played, I feel that they were just, he would have walked into any side, to be very honest, by the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
Cut to now, at least so many times, as soon as he did not score, Rizwan and Babar again started to open. Then there were questions on both of them. Then you again got Sai Mayub on the top. So in such circumstances, any player, no player of any quality would not be able to do well.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel it's more about what is going on in and outside that team more than again subcontinent for them. Cricket is something like India. For there also, everyone there, every person growing up wants to be a player. So I don't feel that quality is that big an issue. Again, Shaheen, again a very good quality bowler. You gave him the captaincy, you took it away from him.
When we just heard it from Shahid sir, that the day that you try and flatten conditions, the day you try and just because, so you need to remember
but
that
again,
the day that you do that, the day you do that, you may enhance your batting, but you're weakening your bowling.
But Harshit said that is also again because of the insecurity only. Now, why see Babar?
You enable your bowlers. What's stopping you from enabling your bowlers?
No. See, why a Babar wants to score more and more and more runs? Because he wants to. Because he knows that any day somebody comes and his place is gone.
So the same can be said for bowlers also, right? You give them good
bowlers. That's why bowlers are saying that we are not getting conditions.
You should have given some sort of grass on that pitch.
So even the bowlers are saying that we are also not getting the suitable conditions for ourselves.
See, one of the things that is really hurting Pakistan cricket now, specifically in Test cricket, I would say, is their pace bowling attack not really stepping up to the plate. You see a Shaheen Afridi, he's done well in patches in T20 cricket, can't really remember any of his great spells in ODI cricket, and for that matter in Test cricket also, whenever he is stored in the Sena countries wherein he is expected to move the ball a lot or get those crucial wickets, he hasn't really done that. So with him, I think with Naseem Shah, obviously he's still very much new to the arena. He made his debut way back in 2019, but then had an injury. Made his way back to the Asia Cup then, and ever since then he has been a regular part of Pakistan cricket team. But overall, I think if there is one thing that I have to pinpoint what has hurt Pakistan, I would say it's going to be a joint thing, lack of quality players. And at the very same time,
Gulati, you remember Asif Ali, the player in T20 cricket?
4 sixes of Karim Jannat.
Again, you never saw him again. You remember Amir Jamal? He was a match winner.
Amir Jamal is injured now.
But again he hasn't cemented his place even now. Even in the team, in the Pakistan team, many players are sort of do not want Amir Jamal in that 11 even after the performance he gave in Australia. So he ran through with the bat, with the ball, he contributed all the way. But even after such a performance, he would be insecure. Then you cannot expect Amir Jamal to flourish and be the best version of himself.
See, what is really missing from Pakistan cricket is what once used to be their Turupka Ekka, is their bowling department. Is a very effective bowling department.
Again,
they, you know,
then
on,
where is
on
Wasim, Mohammad Wasim Jr.?
On paper, they always say, or to be very honest, it's been said across all media platforms also, that the Pakistan have the best bowling attack. They have the their bowling attack is brilliant, second to none or something like that. But when it comes to performing on those big occasions, I don't think it has really happened. In 2019 World Cup, it was Mohammad Amir who finished with the most number of wickets for them. But then those wickets came at a time when it was like the match had already been, gone from Pakistan's hands. And the same thing happened in the 2023 World Cup, that who was your premier bowler, Shahid Afridi. He got those maximum wickets, but then once again those wickets came when the match was really out of their hands. So I think it's more about what used to be your X factor at one time has turned out to be your weakest link now. Maybe.
Okay. Should we have a look at what our family members are saying? Okay, Dex is asking, what is the reason behind Pakistan players being terribly out of shape, even fast bowlers? Why are they not being professional about their fitness, and why are the S&T coaches not doing anything about it?
Strength and conditioning.
Yeah. Strength and training, whatever. Well, I'm just trying to think of names that he is probably hinting at over here, firstly.
Babar is not the fittest.
Bowlers he's talking about, no, in particular.
Generally, players in all.
Is fitness?
See, Naseem Shah has obviously been like on the injury side of things. He even missed the 2023 ODI World Cup also due to a shoulder injury, if I'm not wrong. And same is, I think, pretty much the case with Amir Jamal also, that injuries are a concern with him. Not really sure if why they are not being professional about the fitness, and why are the strength and conditioning.
They went for that camp, na? Where did they go before the World Cup? Army camp.
Yeah.
It's more of a lip service, and it's more about sort of, it's again everyone is there.
It's down to the body type also, with the Shaheen,
No, but same body type as Indians. Indian players are the fittest right now. Again, that I don't think it's more about, I feel it, when the base is only not right, then you cannot expect other things to be fine.
True. Priyanshu has a comment that Babar Azam is majorly responsible for Pakistan's downfall. He prepared these roads for stat padding, and he does groupism and shamelessly took back the captaincy. Not really sure, if anything related to groupism is really out in the media reports or not. Obviously, they can always be rumors.
No, but like Sir mentioned, that groupism is there in every team.
Yeah.
Again, that groupism can be because of any reason. Maybe I am good friends with somebody and not good friends with somebody else. But when they go on the ground, it has to be for one cause. That isn't the case.
Exactly. Shivam, can we scroll up? Maybe just one or two more comments.
Shan Masood's people are asking why is he the captain?
Yeah.
See, he was decent. I remember the time that captaincy was given to him as well.
4 test matches old.
His own, I think, first couple of innings I remember he was okay with the bat. But of course, when you lose like that against Bangladesh, you're going to draw a lot more criticism. He does look like, if you ask me, I think I would be somebody who would want to try him out for a longer duration. He does look like somebody sensible to me. Yes, he probably got it wrong this time, but it's part of the game. And I won't just put it on the captain. Yes, of course, he has to cop up all the wrath, but I think it's a collective failure. The think tank as well. It can't just be the captain's decision, like I said, to declare a score. It has to be in consultation with the senior pros as well in the back room.
It's such a big team, and nobody sort of knew this that a Pakistan wicket is going to behave like a Pakistan wicket only at the end of the day.
Yep. So I think that's pretty much about it. Anything else, guys?
We can.
Yeah, I think we can call it a wrap.
Yep. Thank you so much for joining us, and do subscribe to Sports Today for some exciting updates on different sports and analysis, on cricket, football, or any of the sports that we cover. And until then, it's good night, Shabba Khair, what it is,
Shubh Ratri, Nandri.
and
Eat your vegetables and don't trouble your mother.
Okay.
We got the order wrong this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.